Hi, my name is Kathy Deagle, and this is an instructional video on using an app called Resume Star. Resume Star is a free app that makes composing a resume easy. It's been featured on today's best apps and consistently gets 5-star ratings from users. I love this app because it's easy to use, it's formatted according to industry best practices, which takes the guesswork out of writing your resume, and it creates a PDF document that can be emailed, posted online, or printed. I'm going to be demonstrating Resume Star on an iPad because it's easier for you to see, but it also works on an iPhone or an iPad. I chose to do this video to coach students through creating a resume on Resume Star while integrating instructions and recommendations verbally as we walk through the features. The video can be best utilized by composing your resume as you listen, pausing at each step to input your personal information. The information in this video comes primarily from the resume writing guide available on Resume Star. It's right down here on this little eye. You can click on that. It gives you lots of great information, but I'm going to be sharing most of it with you. I've also incorporated information from my experience working in a college career center where I spent much of my day helping students write their resumes. I noticed that students wasted a lot of time formatting their resumes and would get very frustrated with the process. This app eliminates formatting issues and allows you to focus on what's really important, which is the content. A few important points before we begin. First, the purpose of a resume is to get an interview. It is not to tell your life story. It should concisely capture what is most important for a potential employer to know about you. Details can be filled in during the interview. The average hiring manager looks at a resume for only 30 seconds before deciding whether to discard it or process it further. The second thing is to consider your audience and customize your resume for each position you apply for. The closer your resume matches the job description, the more likely you will be to get an interview. Customizing your resume is easy to do on Resume Star, and it gives you the best chance of attracting the hiring manager's attention. So at this point, if you have not found a specific posting that you want to apply for, then pause and find one before you begin, because you'll need that for this type of resume. And then the third point is to always be honest about your experience and your qualifications. You certainly want to put your best foot forward, but make sure that you're being honest. All right, so now we're going to navigate a little bit just so you can see the features. We're going to go first to Gallery, which is right here at the top. And you can see that in this section you can select examples and get ideas. We're going to use just the blank one for right now. There's the preview. This section shows you exactly what your resume is going to look like. And then over here in sections, you're going to be able to input all of your information very easily, and it'll go right in where it should. And then there's an edit button here if you want to rearrange some of the section order. They also just point out that everything you put in over here in the sections will automatically save, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so now we're going to go to a resume that I've created for Taylor Smith, a fictional person who is graduating from college in the spring and is interested in a job in event planning. First, we're going to start with her contact information. So we click on that, and basically you just use, you can just touch on it. You could backtrack, input whatever information you want. It's very easy to do that. And then input your information down here the same way, and it'll automatically format right into the top center of the page. So why don't you pause, take a minute, and input your contact information. Okay, we're going to skip over the cover letter. There's plenty of information on how to do that down here at the little I. Suffice to say now that you should definitely include a cover letter for any job that you're seriously interested in. It shows an extra level of effort and interest that will distinguish you in the job market, so it's very important. But we are not going to cover that in this video. All right, well, let's go to the objective. All right, so here, again, just touch on this and you can add whatever information you would like. The objective should be a simple statement that clearly states what position you're looking for. A simple tip is to increase your chances of getting an interview is to include the exact job title you're applying for and the name of the company in your objective. This makes it very clear to the hiring manager that you are specifically interested in the job they are trying to fill and will reduce your chances of being weeded out. In this case, Taylor's says to obtain a position with Compass Group North America as a conference planner where I can utilize my event planning experience and organizational skills. So you can see she's mentioned the company name, the position, and she's tied that to two specific skills that she has to offer. So that's a very good objective. It's specific and it'll get the attention of the manager because it is specific to that job. All right, so pause for a minute and see if you can come up with an objective for the job that you are most interested in. All right, now we're going to go to key qualifications. You're going to fill in the content section with your most applicable skills using the job description as a guide. This can be in either paragraph form or bullet points. You can see here, you can move that either way, but we've chosen bullet points for this example. This is your opportunity to highlight your strengths, but you want to make sure that you use the same language that you find in the job qualifications section of the posting to be perceived as the best match for the position. Make it clear that you have exactly the skills needed or better, but be honest. And in this example, she has said able to communicate effectively with the diverse populations. And that phrase diverse populations came specifically from the job requirements. If you just said something like excellent communication skills, that might be true, but it's just really not as specific. It's a little too generic. The second one says organized with attention to detail. Attention to detail was another phrase that came from the job description, so you get the idea. So pause and come up with some key qualification bullet points for yourself. All right, next we're going to talk about work experience. In Taylor's case, it makes more sense to use the word relevant experience, so I'm going to change that. And this is going to allow us to include things like internships. It's not letting me do it. Why is it not? Okay, there we go. So we're going to put in relevant experience. All right, you can see how easy that is. So we're putting in relevant experience because that's going to allow her to include, projects that she might have done at school, shadow experiences, internships, as well as summer jobs. And we're going to use bullet points. We're going to have 3 to 5, 7 bullet points. And we're going to start, first of all, though, with the name of the company. No, I'm sorry. We're going to start, first of all, with the name of her position, the exact title that she had, then the name of the company and the location, and then the dates. Usually you would put month and year, but in this case summer is just fine. And then we're going to get into the bullet points, the 3 to 5, 7 bullet points to describe achievements primarily. Now, if you don't have a lot of achievements in your job, then include responsibilities that are relevant to the position that you're applying for. You want to use action verbs, and you want to quantify achievements when possible. Indicate that you mastered the job and showed continued progression. You can see in this second one, here's her second job posting or job listing, promoted each summer from counselor in training to assistant counselor to head counselor. So that's great that she can show that. She's quantified, led 30 6th and 7th graders in daily activities. So to the extent that she's able, she's quantified her achievements and she's shown progression. She's using action verbs, and let me just get out of this so we get rid of that. And you can see here how this looks. And then, like I said, you want to have the most recent one first, and then if you need to add more, you can do that down here. You can shift them around using these arrows if you need to. All right, so why don't you take a minute and come up with some bullet points and fill in the relevant experience section. Next, we're going to do education. This section's pretty straightforward. You're going to have the degree that you've earned, your university. We've put in expected graduation because she hasn't graduated yet. Normally, we would just have the date. And then GPA, your area of concentration, business management in her case. And then she's added something here which I think is great for recent grads. She's put in relevant coursework in marketing, hospitality management, and public relations. And this just shows then to a potential employer that she's had exposure to things that might be relevant to the position. All right, so another thing we're going to do here is we are going to edit the section a little bit. Because she's a recent grad, we're going to move education above relevant experience because that's really more of what she's selling at this stage in her career. So we're going to hit edit. We're going to just hover here on education and move it up. It's very easy to do. And you can see then it just adjusts automatically. All right, so go ahead and fill in your education and then come back. Next, we're going to do other activities. And this is an optional section, but it's a good idea for recent grads. Through activities, students also have the often have the opportunity to gain experience and develop new skills that are transferable to a career. So she's put in things like homecoming chair, banquet chair, planning coordinators, things like that that are relevant to being an event planner. So that shows that she has developed some skills in her activities that might be relevant. And the way that I did that was right here. It says add a section. You have the opportunity to add a lot of different things here. So we've added that section. All right, and then the last section here is references. And we just say available upon request. That's the automatic format for that content section. And basically you do need to be prepared though to present a list of references that has contact information, names, and a brief description of how you know the person that you are asking for a referral. And be sure that you have talked to these people in advance so that they know that they may be contacted and that they are going to be saying positive things about you. All right. Lastly here, this resume fits very nicely on the page, but if you're finding that you have too much information or not enough, you can adjust the text and the margins right here. You can see, you can move that dial. And then when you're ready to submit, you just go there and you can email it, print it, or open it in another form. So that is very easy. So just some final points. Stick to the format. Resume Star has been proven to be effective and meets the standards of the industry best practices. A resume is not the time to stand out using gimmicks. Proofread. This is a brief document. It should be completely free of any kind of typos. Adjust your margins and text if necessary. Your resume should only be on one page. Especially if you're a relatively new grad. If you've been in the workforce for many years and have lots of experience, you can go on to a second page, but not recent grads. Do not add photos. Hiring managers may discard your resume if a photo is included because it can create conditions for unfair hiring practices. Don't forget the cover letter. Use the writing guide down here to get ideas. And then submit your resume when you're ready. Make sure you get it in on time. If you'd like to pay for this app, what they have asked is that people come back and pay $3.99 if they have found this to be useful and if it's helped them to get an interview. But that is on the honor system. It's up to you. And then at the very end here, it gives you an opportunity to find out about more openings. You can put in your interests, your merchandising or whatever it is, and your location, and a whole bunch of job postings will pop up and you can find some more things to apply to. So I hope this instructional video has been helpful to you, and good luck in your search.